Well, hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to, as you all know, what we do every Wednesday, right? This is What's Next podcast, and I am your host, Pamela. And guess what? I got a new co host for this week. I'm so excited. You guys can sit back. First of all, grab your pen and paper, your favorite evening beverage and snack, and your friends and family, and grab some pen and paper because this is going to be another amazing gold nugget evening with my co-host for this week. But before I get you guys in and get you knowing who she is and her amazing work that she is doing, there is some things that I want to get off my chest and let you guys know about. So today is International Podcast Day. I was just telling Beta
Beata.
Beata, how today is International Podcast Day, and what a perfect way to celebrate with this amazing woman. So you'll get to hear her story and her amazing work that she is doing, as well as it is just so nice to be here on the International Podcast Day. Oh, guess what? On the night that we are broadcasting, right? So then I also want you to all know, since it's International Podcasting Day, what is your win for this week? Have you guys started it? Have you even started working on your goal? And if you have, how are you doing on it? If you need help setting for your goal for this week, we still have time. It's Wednesday. If you need help setting goals, drop it in the feed below. I definitely will be connected to you. If you have a goal, and you know what, you may have missed it by a smidge. It's okay. That is still a goal. A goal is a goal. You know what you need to do, but you've missed it. Now, maybe you need some help on meeting that goal for this week. Again, you still have time. Drop it in the feed, and I definitely will connect with you. I love working with empowering women to go after their what's next. But we have to first conquer our what ifs and I can't. So what perfect way to do it. And so then also tonight's show, we have again two amazing sponsors. The first half of the show is sponsored by At the Table. It is a nonprofit organization located here in Columbus, Ohio, and they are out here doing amazing things with young women and young girls. So for that being said, they are actually having an online virtual event on October the 24th, and it actually will be aired online. So you don't even have to leave your office. You don't even have to leave your pajamas to enjoy an amazing event for an extraordinary purpose. And the purpose is so that we can celebrate women who has defeated or are currently going through cancer. And so we recognize them, we celebrate them. And the way we celebrate them is they're doing a fashion show with us. So what way to do this is another way to empower women is to join us on October the 25th live at the table. If you want more information on the tickets, I'll drop it in the feed below. And I think that's it for right now. So without further ado, women, before I forget, if you guys have any questions for us, I always forget this piece. And then I'd be like, oh yeah. So if you have any questions for either of us or for both of us, drop them in the feed. We will definitely get to you tonight. If not tonight, definitely we'll get to you within 24 hours. We're all about empowering and serving you. Okay, that was a mouthful. So without further ado, I would love to thank you. Welcome to my co-host for this week Beata. Is that it?
Yes.
Yay! To the show. She is actually a a transformation coach. And so you want to know what she does? Well, take it away and tell our guests. First of all, welcome to our show.
Thank you so very much, Pamela. It's an honor to be here with you, and I love what you do. And everyone out there, you should be grateful for having Pamela in your life. Oh,
I was coughing, so I didn't want to cough in
yeah,
everything there. Thank you so much. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
absolutely. So you already told them a little bit, but my name is Beata Seweryn-Reid, and I am in Colorado, but originally I am from Poland. And it's actually where my whole story starts. Um, I became change and transition coach not because I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna become one, but because of the changes and transitions that I had to go through. So I just want to tell you before I went to go to the story, I'm just going to tell you. So I also empower women through change and transition, and we focus their thinking on their ability to overcome and meet challenges successfully, because I think it's what we struggle the most. Change is
Mm,
scary.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and how I learned, I was afraid. And what ifs that you talk a lot about in this on this podcast about, I think I lived like half of my life. It was what if there is nothing good after, what if there is always some fear and worry. And
Mhm.
how did I get there? So when I was 7 year old, um, back in Poland, oh my goodness, had a big dreams, just started the school as a first grade student. I had accident, car accident. Unfortunately, it was tragic, and because I ended in a hospital with traumatic brain injury, which I had no clue because I was not conscious about. So I had no clue what is it. When I woke up in the hospital, unfortunately for me, I woke up to the conversation between the doctor and my mom. And I guess she was talking about my condition. And the doctor said, Mom, you need to understand that your kid will never be normal again.
Mhm.
You need to be easy on her, you need to be careful. Don't expect much from her. So even for 7 year old kid, this label, you won't be normal again, and you won't be like your friends. This is scary. And I had this fear inside. What they mean? Like I
Mhm.
won't have normal life. And I was living with it for quite a while. I had very smart mom at that time, because at some point I approached her and said, Mom, crying and screaming, Mom, I want to be normal. Does it mean that people won't accept me? What is gonna be with me? I couldn't go to school. I was homeschooling at that time. Everything was very, very strange and different at age 7, when you just want to be with your friends and be there and play. And my mom said, Child, you were not born to be normal. You were born to be different. You were born to be courageous. And it gave me some hope for the future. Okay, maybe I'm special. And but well, let's forward the whole story. So even though I had this words, my mom words in my head, that I can do it, there always was this fear on the back in my head, like what if they will find out? What if these people around will find out that I am not normal, that I don't measure up to them? What if my friends will decide that I don't belong? So there was always this what if. So I was working triple hard and pushing myself and being so ambitious, just and covering up this maybe I'm not enough, because not normal. It's always about the
Mhm.
fear I am not enough. I don't belong. I don't measure up to everyone else around. Because one of the biggest fear for us is judgment of others, and be, being loved and to belong, because we love communities. That's why we
Mhm.
love communities. So moving forward with my story, I struggled a lot, but I learned how to cover up, to wear masks, and just just move forward and achieve. I was achieving, checking the boxes out, even got into university where they said that it's probably never possible. I've got my master's degree. Bonus was there, my fiance. I've got my fiance. We were together for 11 years, and I was like, oh my gosh, there is someone who sees something in me. And just before our 11th anniversary, I received after a long time trying to reach out, I received a message that he decided to start different life with different person. So it's done. Here is the first of my biggest challenges in my adult life, because I was not ready for it. We are never ready for change like
Mhm.
this. We are never ready for change. So I was not ready. And all fears from the childhood, from the when I was still in a hospital, 7 year old, came back. You are not enough. You don't deserve. You cannot be loved. You won't be successful, because my life was already planned. I had this man. I was studying, working already as well. So it was all planned. And you know what? I don't remember the exact quote, but when you are planning the life, when you are busy to planning the life happens. It's when
Yeah.
life happens. I don't remember who said it, but it always sticks with me, because I was so busy with planning how it will be, how it is, not really engaging. There were signs. Yeah, we always have the signs that the change is coming or change is needed.
Hmm.
But oh no, life is life. We just pile all these obligations that you have on one plate, and then it's fall apart sometimes. But when I learn, when it falls apart, it's all for one to put back puzzles together, and you can put it back even better.
Hmm.
Well, uh, for going forward with my story again, I lived in depression for a couple of years, not really knowing what I want, what I will do in my life. I was just living, but not really being alive. And I think we all do it.
Yep.
Pushing with my career. So I found myself like, if I will be busy with achieving success, oh yes, then I will be fine. So I was trying to fulfill this emptiness and this void that I felt in a private personal life with work. And I was pretty successful, but inside I was so unhappy.
Hmm.
Then I decided to move to the United States, because I've been there a couple of times and it was so wonderful. Ladies, don't you have it that you had some great time, or maybe you've been somewhere and it was the best time in your life, and it's like, if I just go back to this past emotions
Absolutely.
and I move, everything will change. Everything,
Absolutely.
it will be just perfect. Well, I moved. As soon as I landed, I started working in a beautiful 5-star resort. Oh my gosh, just dream was true. Soon after, I found out I still feel empty. I still feel that I don't belong.
Mhm.
Even these fears were getting more scary, because now I have accent. Some people, sometimes they don't have good days and they say, oh, go back where you came from.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, maybe they're right. They found out I'm not enough. I'm not normal like other people. So all this unfinished and not worked through fears are coming back. So first of all, face your fears, because they're
Absolutely.
gonna always come to your face sooner or
Right.
later. Well, so it was my realization after I came to US very shortly, that wherever you go, there you are with all the baggage that you had. Not only the luggage that I brought with me, but all the
Mind
baggage
baggage.
from in my mind.
Yeah.
So yes, but th- at this time I was aware enough to decide and see that I cannot work on my own. I need help. I need help with, it's not
Mhm.
sometimes, very often when we go through changes like that we don't know how to take care of them, because it's in us, really, not the outside world is just reflection what is going on inside.
So true.
It's hard to see from the inside of the box. You have all these labels, like I mentioned, fear, I'm not enough, I'm maybe not normal, I don't belong. You have all these labels, you feel them, but you don't see them.
Right.
So I reached out to coach, and she was wonderful. She helped me, I figure out that my best tool for me, because everyone needs to find a tool for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
was journaling.
Yeah.
Journaling really is so powerful, and I really encourage everyone to do it, because first of all, I could download the emotions that I didn't know what to do with. I didn't know too many people there, and we don't like to really share our struggles,
True.
because then there is judgment, and they will think that maybe I'm not strong enough.
Yep.
And I So we have all these stories that we tell ourselves, and the journal actually is helping you to see these stories, because thoughts are, very quick. We have
Yep.
like million thoughts per second, and then we don't have time to really stop and think what the story we are telling ourselves about ourselves,
Right.
because who are we but the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves. And I would really encourage everyone to try journaling. But it was just the first step, because it was the first step on this huge journey that
Right.
I'm on until today. It was this moment when, after a couple weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, something is different about me. Even people around us, did you change your hair? Did you change your makeup? And I was like, no. And my coach, she said to me, you will see, people will start telling
Mm-hmm.
you that something is different about you. And when you have this confirmation, you just even put more effort in
Exactly.
that, grow and excitement about that. So it was the first moment when I knew that it's what I want to do. That's why I became change and transition coach, because I also realized that change is any event that happens in your, it can be a job loss, it could be like for me, breakup, it could be moving to that different uh,
So true.
country or city, changing jobs, new career. But so this is even that just happens, and that's it. It's already there, but we don't really pay attention to that. We focus on transition. The transition part in my coaching is that inner part, this feelings that we don't know what to do with,
Mm-hmm.
because our situation changed. We were, for example, the job loss. I was working for the company for 20 years, for example. Then you
Wow.
have no job. What you do? You just lost your identity.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very, very hard on us. We lost our confidence, we lost our self-esteem. We are just like a kid in the darkness. We don't know what to do, where to go, because we feel not enough at that
So
moment.
true.
And it's
So
it's
true.
not only with work, but also with our personal lives,
Right.
when we don't plan on something and it happens.
Right.
So I always encourage my clients when they come to me, hey, how about start planning change? Because
Right.
when they come, and I'm sure you have this the same, they come with totally different, something sometimes even silly,
Right.
but there is a need for a big change
So
usually.
true.
I
So
But
true.
they don't want to go there, yes, because change is
It's
scary.
hard. It
Change
is.
is unknown. We don't like do not know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So true. So true.
Right.
So let me ask you this. I have so many notes. So let's go back
Oh
first of
yeah.
all. So first of
Go.
all, you talked about the journal. Let's talk about journaling.
Hmm.
I love journaling and I teach that to my client. To this day, do you do journaling now?
Absolutely, I do it every day. I Journaling is a main tool in my coaching with my clients. I start my day with gratitude
Me
journal,
too.
and yes, that is so powerful.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, I try to just summarize my day,
Yep.
what did go very well, what needs to improve, where is my focus, where do I go? Because you know what is exciting about journaling, and I'm sure you can also say that you see your progress as well,
Yes.
your ideas, your I don't know, but maybe your podcast also, did you create it when you were journaling?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yes, so many of my like ideas, when I journal, it's like, oh wow, I
Right.
didn't think about that. Yeah, let's do this. It's how I started my meaningful conversations show that you're gonna be on soon too.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, and then many other ideas also, private changes, yeah, like, oh, for example, you have partner and
Right.
something is not going right, or
Right.
your job, and you just don't feel right. When you start journaling and you just don't think about
Right.
what, just
Do
put
it.
whatever comes down, you
Absolutely.
will find out what is the story, why this person, your coworker, is pissing you off, which really it's not about them, it's
It's
always
right.
about you. There is some
Absolutely.
trigger. So
Absolutely. So
yeah,
true. But
right.
I so agree with you. The journaling is such a therapeutic. For me, it's therapeutic because I can write on that piece of paper and there's no holds. There's no judgment and I get to do whatever I want to do with it. And guess what? I don't even care. It's all my words. And but you are right. As you start to birth into this new person, everything
Yeah,
changes. Let's be honest, you're writing from the past and you look at it now, you're like, wow, this isn't even me. I can say
I
that. I
know.
say that all I'm like, this was me? Really? And I'm always constantly saying, wow, I really have grown through. I don't know how many today I've heard that word. I've grown so much today. It's just unbelievable. So everybody, one piece of advice. I hope you guys. She has dropped many nuggets. Also, is to journal. I do the the grateful journal every morning. I'm doing it. I do it every morning, even if I'm going to work or even if I sit in the car. I'm always doing my gratitude journal because I am grateful for what I have and where I'm at, and I'm grateful for
Absolutely.
who has my creator is God for me, and I'm very grateful for what He has done for me and where He has brought me to and where He's taking me on. So I'm very grateful for that. Now, let me say this, everyone. It took me a minute to get here. Okay. It took me a minute to really be like, and I even have another girlfriend who does that is her business to help you knock down the barriers and understand that your gratitude is what helps you get lined you up for your what's next. But I didn't get that until recently. And I mean, recently, I mean, within the last few months, I really understood, but I also started getting more connected to my inner self. So journaling is a must. Is a
If
must.
I can add, if I just can
Sure.
add here, journaling also is giving you clarity, because to move on in life, you need to know where you are, how did you get here, and where you
We're
want to
going.
go. Yeah.
Absolutely. Real quick, let me jump here. Elisa says, hello, lady. How inspiring. She says, face your fears. Absolutely. And then Chanel says, hello, ladies. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. If anybody else has any questions, any comments, drop them in the feed. We will definitely talk about it. So, you also talked about preparing for change. How do you prepare for change?
Well, I know everyone is like, can you prepare for it? Well, you can. You can start today with creating your resilient mindset, because everything starts with our mindset. So if you start today working on that, and journaling will help you with it as well, you will be ready. It doesn't mean that when change comes, you are just like, oh, okay, piece of
Mhm.
cake. No, you might be shocked for a few seconds, like, oh no, I did not ask for that. No, no, no. But you will see that very quickly you will realize, you will find this inner strength, because your mind won't get hooked up anymore on what I can't do,
Correct.
on the problem, but you will focus on the solution. So very quickly your mind will go, okay, what can I do about that? Who can I ask for help? Can I do it on my own? If not, I will find out. I will find
Absolutely.
the answers, or I will find the tool to help myself. So you won't get stuck. So number one, take care of your mindset. Start there, because without mindset, it's like our engine. Yeah, like it's like when you start the car,
Right.
it starts with the engine. So in the morning when you open your eyes, you start with your thinking, and it's right there. So think for yourself is my favorite quote. Think for yourself. What I mean by that you take care for yourself. It's a self-care tool. You put yourself first, which means when change comes, You don't worry about what can go wrong, but you will focus on what can I do now so it goes as well as it can. And you will find out on the way that you have more ability to overcome the fear of change when it comes, because you will just think differently.
Absolutely. And also too, I do like where you talked about facing your fears. And that's one thing I talk to my clients about. And it's hard.
It
It
is.
is very hard. And it does take a lot of mind it takes a lot of mind shifting to learn how to face your fears. As I always tell everyone, the best person to teach who has taught me to learn how to face fear is but from Beyonce, when she had said that she loves to face fear because fear helps her to grow. She doesn't allow it to
Mm,
hold her back, which is such a powerful statement. Because I have to say, when before I got to this point of journey in my life, I allowed fear to dictate to me where I was going, who I was going to be around, and what I was going to do. But when I started hearing what she had said, and I listened to what she was saying very consistently and over time, she's right. Let's face fear. It is what it is, grow from it, and learn from it and move forward. So I so love that you say face fear. And I'm glad that another life coach talks about facing fear, because so many people will not talk about facing fear, and they'll go around it. But yet you still have that fear. Fear is still there. Fear is inevitable. It is one of our five senses, you might as well say, part of one of our senses that we face. So what better way is to face it head on instead of going around it.
and when you face your fear, it's where you find courage, because
Yeah,
courage is nothing else, just the walking fear. So instead of sitting there, you walk with the fear, and it's when you get courage to just move forward. And without moving forward, there is no
there's
life,
nothing. There is
nothing.
you're just sitting there in the same place. And like I tell you, ladies, 2020 is going to be like no other year. And it's not to do with COVID. It is all about us growing and taking ourselves to the next level. And guess what? COVID has really actually allowed us to get more focused. Let's be honest, it really has allowed us all to be focused, and it has created us the opportunity to us to pivot. Now, I'm not saying to pivot and go out and like, okay, I'm done, I'm going to do this, but it does allow you to become more mindful, thoughtful, and starting to get you to thinking about, okay, now I want to do something different. And what perfect time to do it is now. Real quick, let me stop here. Chanel says, I love journaling. It's my favorite thing to do. Mine too.
Awesome. That's
Love,
fantastic.
absolutely. And then thank you, Adrian, for joining. She said it's hard to stay focused. It is, especially during COVID. We have so much, you have staying in, in an isolation, you have staying away from 6 feet from each other. And she says, how do I stay focused with so many things to do? First, I'm going to give you this tip. What I always have my clients do is focus on one thing. And it's got to be, and you have to categorize everything that you are wanting to work on. And you decide out of that list, what is the most important thing that you want to work on? Now, mindset's always above. So I'm always telling my clients, mindset's first. So you always work on your mind, doing some journaling. And then you work on that one item. Now, once you have accomplished that one item, then you move on to the next one. But everything else, don't worry about it, because if not, you get overwhelmed and so consumed with, I have to do this, that you don't get anything done. And guess what? By 2 years later, your to-do list is so long, you're just like, forget it, and you won't do anything. So focus on one thing. So what do you think?
Well, so I want to write you what was her name? Chanel?
No, Adrian.
Adrian, I'm sorry. Adrian, so what you focus on growth. So write it down. What you focus on growth. Now, where is your focus? Always think about where my focus goes. Because if it's something that takes you away from your goal and dreams, whatever you want to achieve even on that day, it's not worth it of your focus. Yes. So then, okay, I'm wasting my time watching Netflix because maybe you just don't want to go like me, I hate technical like stuff. I
Oh
don't like to do it.
yeah.
So sometimes we just, okay, I have so much to do, but not really. You just don't want to do something what you don't like to do. And your attention is taken to some silly stuff. So what you focus on growth. Think what is taking you closer to your goal and what is taking your attention away from your goal. And maybe it will help.
Absolutely love it. So, Adrian, you have two tips. I hope those help. If you have more questions for us, drop it in the feed
Yes.
below. We're still here for you, ladies. So, real quick, we're going to take a break right here, and we're going to flip it a little bit, but we still will take your questions throughout the rest of the show. She says, "Okay, sounds good." Well, we hope it helps you. If not, please drop them in the feed. If you need more help, we are still here for you. Definitely here for you. So, real quick before I go on, so tonight's second half of the show, it is sponsored by Hurt and Poet LLC. The CEO is Elisa Hurt. What an amazing content writer. So, those of you who are in business, you business owners who are needing someone to do some content writing, she is your woman. Elisa, if you're still on, please drop it in the feed how people get connected to you. If you're looking for someone to do some writing for you, excuse me, she has done several writings from me and from my business. So if you're needing her to do some writing for you, again, she's the woman you should connect to. So that is Hurt and Poet LLC is the second half of our sponsors. So with that being said, a little bit before we go into changing, shifting a little bit, we have, say for instance, well, we do not say for instance, but we do have women that are sitting in the corporate world and wanting to do their what's next, but don't know how to do it. What is a suggestion you would have for them?
So first of all, you said they know what
They
they
don't.
want. They
No, they
don't.
don't.
Well, yes. So we go back to clarity. You need to get clear on what you want, because if you don't know where you are going, doesn't matter what path you're gonna take. Yes. So I would really, really suggest. And without clarity, we are just lost. We
So
will Yeah, we will just find so many silly stuff occupied with ourselves with distractions, so we don't have to really focus on what is there, because it's scary if we don't know what we really want. But often my clients are asking, is that all for me? Is that all? It's scary if
yeah,
they think that the life is just ended here. It's not true, but you have to gain clarity. Second, confidence. Be confident in
mm,
your, even if this vision is not very clear yet, start going there. Believe that it's possible for you and find people that can help you with it. I call it stretching your comfort zone, because
absolutely.
confidence is nothing else, and I think Bernard Burchard says it, than knowing that I will be able to figure
Mhm.
it out. If you have this knowing that I will be able to figure it out no matter what, you will start doing and going towards your dream or goal. And third, courage. Have courage to take actions, because without movement, again, there is no life. So
So good.
without taking actions on your goal, nothing will happen. So there are my three tips. The next step is scary, because it's unknown and it's change and we don't know
Right.
how to do it. But without going into it and facing the fears that we talked about before, you won't know. You just won't know. And what is more scary? Not knowing how it could turn, or going into
Absolutely.
it and like, oh gosh, I was actually able to do it. And then you have even more courage to go further. Because I always say, do you prefer to stay in comfort, what you have, because what we have right now, it's, we
Right.
know, so it's very comfortable, the jobs that we stay in, the relationships, even though deep down we know that they are not healthy for us anymore. And it's scary, it's when we ask, is that all for me? So you can choose comfort or you can choose change.
Right. So how do you feel about change now that you have gone through life and you evolved? I mean, you evolved hugely. Since the last time we have talked, we both have evolved. So now that you're evolved and with the change and all, how do you feel about change?
I still feel like everyone else. Change is scary, but it won't stop me. I just know that it won't stop me because if if I give up, who I'm giving up on? Not on the idea that I had, but on me and my life. So I'm not a quitter. So I'm just, change is a challenge for me always. But I also learn from people that are more further in self-development and more successful than me, that in every change there is an opportunity. Every change has opportunity, but you have to go open that doors and get it.
Absolutely. I'm so with you. I love the change. Let's bring it on. I take on now the challenge for what change brings upon me, and I'm okay with it. Now, let me say this. And yes, we are both very confident, as she had talked about, very confident in what, what will bring. And we're okay with the pivot. It takes time to get to this point. You have to face your fears and you have to be okay what the outcome is, regardless if it's good or bad. And who is even to decide what's good or bad? It's all for if this is your life. And that's one thing that I want all you women to know. You live your life to live your life. No hesitation and no worries about everybody else. And if you don't do it the way you imagine it, okay. It's okay. It's still okay. You did it and you just have to maybe tweak it a little bit, but never give up on what you want to do. So, with that being said, real quick, if someone wants to get in contact with you or wants to know more about you, how can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Beata, Beata Seweryn-Reid. I have two last name, Seweryn, hyphenated Reid, or my website, www. This is easier, just one name, is Beata, Beata, lifecoaching.com. I'm on Instagram. You can contact me directly. I would love to talk to you.
Absolutely. So, you guys, if also Adrian says, thank you, I will try the tips. I have fear of failures and I'm still working in corporate. I think I'm ready for the change. Adrian, let me talk about a little bit about this and then I will definitely get back. I am still in corporate and I totally get I totally get the feeling of, okay, it's time for, it's time for the change. But however you feel, if you change, you're losing that piece of security. I got that. However, remember that fear is always the fear. Fear is always the controller of keeping you and holding you back. You need to face the fear and understand, is it best for you? Is it the reason why you're facing the fear of leaving? Or is it the fear of crossing to the other side? And if it is for you crossing to the other side, surround yourself with people that are your cheerleaders, your supporters. I totally believe in the right tribe will support you on your change. And those that are not for you, or if there are those of you people that are saying, no, you should stay, those are the ones you need to let go. I did it. I had to let go. I had some amazing women that were 10, there were 10 of them, and I could guarantee that they would be there on the other side of the fence. However, as soon as I started transitioning over to the other side and they started seeing a change, our relationship started to, as it is now, it has gone. So don't allow those types of fears hold you back. And failure, what do you fear of failing? Because guess what? We did it. And guess what? We're
Right?
still here. We did it. So always circle yourself and know that no matter what the choice that you make, if you choose to move to that challenge,
Right.
I so challenge you to do it. And I so challenge you to do it, but take baby steps. First, do a plan, create a plan. Now, please don't do what one of my clients did. When she called me and she's like, Pam, I really want to quit. I'm like, no, no, no. Let's first create a plan. 3 hours later, she says, I couldn't wait for the plan. I quit. And so she had no plan, but we figured it out and she's very successful. But create a plan, set some deadlines, talk to people that have done it, gone through it, and know that you're not alone in this journey that you're going to go through. But we got you. So I hope that helps you there.
Yes, and if I can just add, because I'm sure other people's opinions, it's what counts. Other people's opinions are none of your business because they don't live your life. I stayed in the job for way too long.
Mhm.
And one day I had to decide now or never. So
Mhm.
when is your now?
Absolutely. So I hope those help you. If you again know that
Yeah,
we're here, we're your cheerleaders, and if you need anything, that reach out. We're both here for you.
absolutely.
We both have been there. I'm still currently in the corporate world, and I can give you more stories on how I've gotten to this point now where it's okay. I'm okay, and I know where I'm going to, and when my time is coming to an end. So absolutely, start doing some planning. And if you need help on
Right.
planning, you have I'm here for you. If not me, then you also have Beata as well. So I hope that helps. It helps. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Cool. So with that being said, so now do you do any reading? What do you do? What are some of the self-care things that you do for yourself? Let's talk
Oh
about
my
you.
gosh, I read a lot, and it's funny because I have even book next to me right now. I don't know if you ever.
No.
It's Stella Adler, and it's The Art of Acting. And if you would think that it's about acting on stages,
Right.
it is also, but the main point of this book is getting our imagination to activate again. Because who would be without our imagination? We would not have computers and houses, because everything starts twice, once in the mind and once when it's already produced or built. So I'm working on power of
I love it.
imagination right now.
I love that. We're gonna have to write. We'll definitely write the books down. And everyone's always asking me, if not here in the podcast, they also ask me outside the podcast, why do I always talk about the books? Well, first and foremost, they always say a successful mind is a growing mind, and a growing mind is
Yeah.
an educated mind, and an educated mind is done through books and reading. Now, now, I have 5 books literally going at one time, but it's because of my mind, and I can sit down. I don't read them; I listen. So that is the ultimate piece of it. However, one book I am still reading, I should be wrapping it up, is Power Shift by Damon Johns, who's the from.
Okay.
Oh, it is good. It's my second time reading it again, so it was really
Wow.
good.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's his latest book. Then the other book that I just finished reading is Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. That one was good because I wanted to hear, how does a millionaire, not to be necessarily to be a millionaire, but I wanted to know, what is their mindset? What do they think of? And in that book, the gentleman that written the book was awesome. He talked about the different minds, the mind of as a poor individual, a mind of a middle class, and the mind of a millionaire. And it was,
Mm,
so he did it on each of the chapters that he'd written. And it helped me understand, okay, I could really relate to each chapter that he was talking about, because in those chapters, I'm like, yep, that was where I was thinking at. But and this is my third time reading the book again, because again, now I'm in a different shift in my life. And I'm now so focused on each of the steps on how to change, or how to shift my mindset on not necessarily to be a millionaire, though that is my goal, but what are they thinking, and how is their thinking different than what I'm thinking? So that was an amazing book. And then I'm also reading You're a Badass, excuse me, everybody, by
I
Jen.
finished that.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love her books. I think I have every series of her books. So I've read that one. I'm reading it again. But I definitely love those books. And then the last book I'm reading is Uncloned. And it's actually by Audra Richardson. She is actually, I follow her. And what she is talking about is how to create an uncloned marketing program. So
Mm,
anybody that is in the business, or you have your own business, and you want to know how to stand out and stand above everybody, her book Unclone is amazing. And actually it's on Audible and it's in paper. So I have
wow.
both. So I can highlight what she talked about after I've heard her say it. So that's why.
Yeah, I like books, like this regular books, because I like to highlight the
Yeah.
stuff. And well, couple, yeah, only one from what you said I really read. So I have job to do. But if I can add to that, the library, Bernard Bashard and high performance habits, because
Yeah,
if you want to be successful, you have to work on your
absolutely.
habits, and the high performers are acting from different habits. So I would
Yeah.
really recommend that one. And Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Supernatural. It's about change and then how it happens in our mind. Actually, he brings a lot of uh, science to that, not boring one, like very cool examples, and why we do what we do, and why we stay where we stay. So very
Oh,
recommended.
cool. I'm gonna have no. I am actually my other fifth book was the one, The Habits, the High Perform. I'm reading that actually with a
Oh,
group, so we're
oh
doing
wow,
chapter. So it's really cool
awesome.
how we are working it together. We just finished the productivity chapter.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. It has really, I look, you hear us, we can keep going on talking about books.
Right.
So it's so important, ladies, to go out here and to get out here and start reading. I don't even watch much TV. I really don't.
Yeah, me
I
too.
I love to read and I love to help and I love to build my business. So reading, that's why I always talk to the guests that comes on and ask them, do they read? Is because reading is all about expanding you and expanding your mind. So with that being said, what is one thing you would like to leave with our guests? Something they know, something fun you would like them to know about you.
Uh, about me,
Yes.
I like kind of crazy life. So I do skydiving. I just did
Ooh.
skydiving. I did zip lining. Yes, so I'm that kind of crazy.
You're not crazy because I love zip lining.
Yeah.
I love zip lining. Next will be the skydiving. I do want to do that eventually and
Oh,
go.
definitely.
I
It's where you face your fears for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, ziplining did too. It was just like wow.
Yeah.
So I totally get you there. So totally get you. So as we actually were a little over, but that's okay. This was so fun. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank
This
you.
was so fun. But before we wrap up, what is one thing you would like to leave our guests with?
I want you to believe in yourself and do not let people without vision convince you that yours is impossible. What if they are wrong?
I love that. You're right. And guess what? They're yours. So
Yeah,
what if
yeah.
what if they opinion? But you know what, Beata? Thank you so much. This was fun. This was so
Yes, thank you so much.
this went by
Yeah.
so fast. I was like, wow, we're over it, everything. But I thank you so much. I can't wait to be on your podcast.
Yes, couple weeks. Yeah,
This was a
absolutely.
powerful piece, Ben. And I just can't wait for us to continue to work more together and do other collaborations as this and more so. Well, ladies, as you can see, our time has came and gone and it's gone by fast. And that means that we're doing what we love because I love doing this and I love empowering women. And so I hope that you all have your paper. Look, I'm gonna tell you how many notes I have. Here goes my paper. So I hope your paper and excuse me, I hope your paper was full as mine was. And I hope this helped you in some way, in some form, in shape and size. So, as I always say, I say thank you all for joining me. Thank you for being the women you are. If no one has told you today, you guys are amazing and you rock. And I close out with saying, be intentional and be intentional for yourself and for your life. And remember, this is your life and nobody else. Until next week, everyone. Take care and be good and see you next week. Bye, everybody.